Hello and welcome back to the Hearthstone deck breakdown. Today we're going to be looking at a Murloc Paladin deck that I encountered on the ladder earlier today. I was lucky enough to get a win against a fellow playing. I was running Yogg-Saron Hunter, but he put up a good fight and friended me after the match, and I was very happy to take a look at his deck and then give it a shot. So thank you to Mercy for the deck list, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. It's very strong. It's been putting up a decent fight against pretty much every type of deck. So that sort of versatility has been good. Where like when I was playing the Shaman deck, I would completely smash aggro, but then have no game at all against control. So having a deck with some game against everything has been nice. Going through the card choices, we run a lot of 1-drops. We're running 8 cards in the 1-drop slot. It's very important to get a 1-drop down because it really lets you build tempo from there. There are certain minions that you want to keep around because they sort of snowball the game on their own, so getting an early play to help keep those minions alive can be super important. So like if we have board advantage when we drop the Steward of Darkshire, that can go a long way toward snowballing additional board advantage. Same is true for cards like Murloc Tidecaller. So we have both of the 2-drops that generate another minion, so those combo well with the Steward of Darkshire. Blessing of Kings helps us get a lot of board advantage very quickly. Being able to trade a 1/1 up for, up through a 4-drop potentially is very strong as well. And then we have late game power in Murloc Knight and Keeper of Oldemon, either to deal with large threats like Sea Giant from Zoo, or just power up a 1/1. We have a lot of ways to get 1/1s in this deck, so turning one of those into a 3/3 is somewhat substantial. And then since we have so many minions, Sword of Justice is generally strong, and instead of going for the Cold Light Oracle for the draw, we are running Divine Favor, which is just such a potentially large swing in cards. It's kind of tough to leave out when cards like Tempo Warrior are going to be trying to draw as many cards as they can, and we might be able to get like a draw 7 against them potentially. Go ahead and get into games. We are dangerously close to rank 2 here, so hopefully we'll hit that during the course of this video. But as it stands, I have been winning more than I've been losing in this deck. I was rank 5 at the start of the day, and have been climbed pretty steadily.
Liadrin versus Garrosh.
So playing against a warrior,
My hammer burns with holy fire.
this matchup can be a little tough because they have a lot of great removal against us. Whirlwind effects are generally strong. So they have Ravaging Ghoul, Whirlwind, Revenge, and Brawl. So a lot of ways for them to clear the board. But we have a good start with a 1-drop, and then we'll be able to protect it with a Taunter. And that'll slowly build up and might present enough difficulty. But it looks like he's coining out a War Axe. So we were, sadly, a turn behind of being able to get that really going. But depending on what he has, he might not be able to deal with our hand, and we could just dump that out and then play Divine Favor and catch back up on cards. So we have a couple of options. We could push for damage by playing Tidehunter and Abusive Sergeant. We could also hold off on that so we can Tidehunter to disrupt one of his plans. It's same for the Abusive. So I'm going to go ahead and make a pair of Murlocs here. And now we'll be getting, incidental advantage out of our hero power in case we draw something like Cold Light Seer or Murloc War Leader. The charge here is even more important to say than the Taunter. We are quite vulnerable to a Ravening Ghoul right now, but that's kind of tough to avoid. I could have played Kings, but then we're equally vulnerable to Execute. Kings might have been the better play there. Just because even if he solves the one large minion, he would still have to deal with the smaller ones, although Ghoul Execute would have dealt with both, so. Gonna start building up this Tidecaller again. And I do want to clear that off. We will need a Divine Favor in order to win this game.
Who knows what
Playing one minion at a time is not going to do the trick. I could have buffed the Murloc there, but I'd rather the Murloc survive than the Sergeant in case of Execute, because I'll be able to buff it up with other things, like Coldblight Seer and Murloc Chieftain.
None may steal our secrets.
It's possible I wanted to hold onto Keeper there and just make a Murloc, but this way our hand will be empty if we draw Divine Favor, and we will have board if we draw War Leader.
Not in my house.
And here I'm pushing face damage. Doesn't particularly matter what kind of trade we get off the Sylvanas. Whatever he takes there, it's likely going to be bad. Yeah, Brawl. So it's good that we pushed face there. And his own minion survived, so he doesn't even get a steal with Sylvanas. So that was correctly played by us. Sadly, no Divine Favor yet. We'd like to see that or a Murloc Knight.
Cthulhu! Cthulhu! Cthulhu!
There we go. So now he has to have something in hand in order to deal with both of these. He doesn't have an onboard solution. And okay, he plays Cthulhu, and he juggles well enough that he'll be able to kill both of them. And we did not draw Divine Favor, so
Nothing scares me.
probably out of this. We could draw Keeper to shrink this down, but it's likely he has additional answers now. Although he's not going for the face, which does give us a little time to draw. Preferably Divine Favor. Alright, and
Burn.
with the Rallying Blade coming down, I think we're out of this. We've played both of our Taunters.
pain, speak to me.
Yep, and he's got it.
Your win, friend. I can see.
So there was like a 7 or 8 turn window there where we could have drawn Divine Favor and gotten back into the game, but we missed that window. Might be correct to run a Cold Light Oracle in addition to the Cold Light Seer. I mean, in addition to the Divine Favor, just to make sure we hit the draws we need. But as it has been, you can also, like against a Shaman, you want more cards and less
My hammer
junk.
burns with holy fire.
I think I want to keep the sword. Depending on what kind of opener the Shaman has, keeping these minions might be very mediocre. Like Abusive Sergeant, if he has like Tunnel Trug or Acolyte, is going to feel pretty bad. We do have the turn 1, so we get sort of priority playing the Selfless Hero, and now if he coins out Totem Golem, he's in really bad shape.
It's getting hot in here.
That hitting face is pretty good for us. So now I have some options. I could leave that as is and develop the Tide Hunter. And then he has to swing into the 1/1, we have this to trade up, and then we also have sword option. Or I could just kill this now and then get a shield onto the Sergeant. And I'll be able to deal with another 3 toughness guy. But I wouldn't be able to deal with a Totem Golem, which I think is what we're more likely to see. So I'm going to play that way. It saves us, or
It's getting hot in
lets
here.
us save the Abusive Sergeant for later. Kind of crummy how that turned out, but
Get in there and fight, maggot.
Is that it?
now we're quite shoehorned into this play.
Reporting for duty.
We're not in awful shape, but we're not in good shape.
Did you bring some fish?
Since we will be able to kill that the easy way, but him getting Mana Totem, Mana Tide card advantage is so nice for him. So I am going to kill the Totem instead of the 3/2. Or I could let him draw cards off of that Totem until the sun goes down and just
Scares me.
get a huge Divine Favor out of it.
The battle.
Burn.
Sever my wrath.
So he gets another card off Mana Tide, but we get that card back from Divine Favor.
The light protects me.
Cool. Now I'm in the driver's seat, I would say. I can even slow roll on the playing of Divine Favor, since it's unlikely he'll be able to drop his hand next turn. So I'm actually gonna, I think, burn through the rest of this sword.
Options.
Attacking into the Squire is okay, but I think I can just flood enough that he won't be able to deal with it.
Is that
So I went for the double proc of the hero power, got both uses. So unless he has Lightning Storm, he's in kind of rough shape. I think I'm gonna save Rallying Blade. Actually, draw 4 is gonna be enough, and then I might have a better play than these 2 cards. I do not have a better play than those 2 cards. I'm saving this because I can get a double tap of hero power off. If this dies, if something gets a divine shield, that's what I'll kings up. Oh, he's in a rough way. Seven, 8, 9, 10, 13. Oh boy. I'm gonna hold the Murloc Warrior.
Is that it? Burn.
So now unless he has lethal, we have lethal back even if he clears our board. So that should get through. Him starting off the Flame Tongue, though, I'm no longer afraid. God, wow, it's a lot of mana tide. Okay, we have won this game. A fairly solid victory.
Is that it?
So, back to 4 stars. Like that matchup, we even had some like tough drops to play against. Like our hand was pretty well suited to deal with Totem Golem, but instead he had double Flame Juggler, we still were able to get out of it. We would have had Feral Spirits can be tough for this deck.
Versus Garage.
I might just keep this whole hand. Oh boy, this could get crazy. Selfless Hero is the worst card we have here. We want to draw like Bilefin. But depending on what he plays, we might like lead with Tidecaller, Selfless, and then be able to swing into Selfless, and then second Tidecaller later. I'm more than happy to keep the Selfless Hero. All in. Okay. One of those will live, then we'll be able to Tide Hunter, keep the other one alive. And if he just armors up this turn, he's toast, because these don't die to Whirlwind.
For the Life Binder.
Interesting. I definitely didn't see that one coming. Islander's still good here because he has to trade in the 3/1, and if he plays War Axe and attacks, then it's, you know, the same as if he had attacked there anyway. So that will be fine. This card is relatively strong. He's probably playing Azure Drake and then some late game dragons. Hopefully not something like Blackwing Tech as well. That makes our early game a little rougher. Ravaging Ghoul is not great for him here. Yeah, I mean, it would basically kill this. He'll likely get a lot more value from it later, though he might not know that. I wonder if he knew that that would buff Tide Color. A lot of people forget about that because Murlocs are a little stupid. That was a pretty good hit off of Finley, though. Or, I mean, an acceptably good hit off of Finley. We have a Murloc Knight in our future. I think I just want to hero power up and save that for later. We can take advantage of the fact that he doesn't have as much armor and start going for the face immediately. Korkron Elite. Yeah, I'll trade that for sure. The other one I'm gonna save. Being able to play this at the same turn as a chieftain means we can get a lot more value out of it as a removal spell, rather than just killing a 1-1 or a 1-2. An abusive sergeant would be nice, but no luck.
Nothing scares me. Except mice.
So he can kill all of these so I don't get maximum value. I believe if he kills here, this gets a shield, you can attack, and then kill, but that's still fairly fine for us. Oh, that's super good for him though. We definitely need to draw some action now. Seems okay. So he uses the dagger and attacks there, and then he has 7 mana to develop the board while we sit here and do nothing. We'll need to get pretty lucky with this Murloc Knight too. Wow, gosh, that's even worse. And it continues to get worse. And now we can't even get back in with a Divine Favor, so we lose.
You'll win, friend. I can see.
Back to 3 stars. Let's try that again. So we are 1 and 2 right now with both of our losses to warriors.
Liadrin versus Jaina.
You asked for it. My hammer burns with holy fire.
I think Sword's a little too slow at making our minions good against Mage, but finally we have a Divine Favor. He's likely to have a hand, just because deck plays like Kabbalist Tome and Arcane Elect. So we should be able to get a decent draw out of that. Oh, the Murloc Fear. Running this out makes it much more likely that hero powers, whereas if we just hero powered ourselves, he could play...
Back to your homes.
He wouldn't have to deal with that. So he'd be able to play either the 3/2 spell power or Sorcerer's Apprentice.
None may
That's pretty good. Our curve is going well. We'll be able to combo those two. And then turn 6 we'll be able to Divine Favor and go big. He's kinda fucked.
Back to your homes.
Not in my house.
Because if I don't Divine Favor, I can also double hero power and get 2 more Divine Shielded minions. Having this protected behind essentially 3 taunts is going to be rough for him to deal with.
I serve the fire.
Although Flamewaker is one of the best at breaking up this board. Flamewaker Arcane Missile's pretty strong. Yep. I am gonna just double hero power this turn. And it might actually be worth killing the Flamewaker, but killing Water Elemental is kind of tight. Alright. I'm gonna kill off Flamewaker and draw 4. And then maybe do something else, but probably not.
To battle!
With having a chiefs in the hand, hero powering is worthwhile. Dropping Tidehunter is still vulnerable, like it's vulnerable to all types of AoE, so I don't mind slow rolling it. Oh shit, I miscounted by like a shitload. Kind of forgot that I was playing that Tidehunter. Well, now we're getting flame striked. Okay, that was atrocious. Fortunately, we have a backup army, but we're still like kind of fucked if he has flame strike. If he doesn't, we almost assured. Yeah, there we go. I'm an idiot. Make a tiny Murloc army, a little bit bigger. Okay, now he needs another flame strike. We're probably okay. There might be an argument for playing Cold Light Seer here instead of Sword. Makes everything even harder to kill. They actually wouldn't even die. Like, this way, it would be protected from Flame Strike Ping. but he doesn't have the Flame Strike, so we're okay. Eye for an eye is whatever.
I serve the Fire Lord.
See what's in our pair of Murloc Knights. Five, 8. Damn. Well, actually, not damn. So if he does damage to us, he dies. As long as he doesn't heal 25 in one go, we win. Which I think we'll be able to be okay with. Who knows, maybe Eye for an Eye ended up actually being okay. If he Flame Strikes, we win. Haha.
I wonder.
I really don't think there's a way out of this for him. Like, his Ice Block won't trigger on his turn. I'm not going to be dumb enough to attack him if he does play Ice Barrier. Alright. There we go. Just needed one of those to hit my face and make this game end. Alright, so that's just generally how the deck runs. You drop board, and you do with that what you can. Relies heavily on Divine Favor for catching back up or recovering after an AoE, but Murloc Knight can do that in a pinch if you need to. All in all, very fun deck. If you miss playing Murlocs, I think that's currently the best way to do it. I've considered running an Anything Can Happen just as another AoE recovery, but you make a lot of 1/1 Murlocs with Hero Power, so that dilutes that card somewhat. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and I will be back tomorrow with a, I don't know, maybe Yogg Hunter, maybe something else. Now that I'm facing not exclusively warriors, I have a little bit more leeway in what I get to do. Alright, thanks for stopping by.